What's this, some new kind of dance?
When the skateboard was invented in the mid-20th century, it didn't take long for Hollywood to notice how cool a piece of wood with four wheels could really be. So, starting in the 70s, skateboarding movies became a thing, and in today's video, I'm gonna be looking at all of the best and worst skateboarding movies of all time. The only two rules for a movie to qualify for this list is one, it can't be a documentary. I already made a video about Skateboarding that I'll link in the description and above. And two, it has to mostly focus on skateboarding, not just have a skateboard in it. All right, let's dive into our first skateboarding movie.
And now, our feature presentation.
Number 1, Grind. This is one of the most famous on the list. The movie came out back in 2003 and centered around 4 skateboarders following their idol around for a summer tour, attempting to get noticed and, of course, sponsored. Now, as dumb as this one might be to some people, this movie meant so much to skaters my age when it came out. And while it did follow a somewhat predictable storyline of wanting to get sponsored, it was so much fun and I still quote it today. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10 for nostalgia, and also a sequel is coming soon, by the way. Number 2, Lords of Dogtown. Lords of Dogtown hit theaters in 2005. It had good acting in my opinion, but the reviews were very mixed. Currently it sits at a 55% Rotten Tomatoes score and had about a 7 out of 10 IMDb score. The movie follows the Dogtown and Z-Boys skate group in Santa Monica, California in the mid-1970s. This of course included famous skaters such as Tony Alva, Stacy Peralta, and Jay Adams, and a bunch more. I really like this movie, especially the performances of Emile Hirsch and also the late actor Heath Ledger. I thought it was great. Also, this movie kind of means a lot more to me just because around that time I competed in a skate contest that was promoting the movie Lords of Dogtown. So I got a poster and a cool shirt that I still have. So all around it was cool. I would rate this movie a 7 out of 10. Number 3, Gleaming the Cube. Gleaming the Cube is one of those movies I had never really watched until I decided to make this video. It released in theaters in the late 80s and featured a young Christian Slater, who I really like Christian Slater. One cool thing to note about this movie was that it actually involves a lot of actual skateboarders and in its production as well. The technical advisor for the film was Stacy Peralta, who we all know is one of the Z-Boys, as well as featuring skaters who did stunts in the movie like Tony Hawk, Mike McGill, Rodney Mullen, Lance Mountain, and a ton more. I think Mike Vallely might have been in it as well. So a ton of really cool core skaters. The movie focused on Christian Slater's character, Brian Kelly, who was a 16-year-old skateboarder investigating the death of his adopted Vietnamese brother. Although the movie didn't do very well when it first came out, it has since garnered a pretty huge cult following. I thought it was pretty good, so I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. Number 4, Thrashin. This was another movie from the 1980s, but came out a little earlier than Gleaming the Cube. I think it was like mid-80s. It starred a young Josh Brolin and involved skateboarding gangs that rivaled each other, which I'm not even sure ever existed. It was actually pretty stupid and cheesy, but somehow though, when the movie was over, I kind of found myself liking it just because it felt very 80s and very cheesy. I have like this strange affinity and love for 80s movies. I don't know why. But I do, so I'd probably give this movie a 7 out of 10 as well. Number 5, Dishdogz. This was a really cheesy movie that I felt was trying to capture the spirit of grind but couldn't. In Dishdogz, the main character, Kevin, is looking to get out of his summer job by working at a skate camp as a dishwasher and befriends the chef. I'm just gonna stop there and say I give this 2 out of 10 stars. The 2 points mainly being because it was cool to see Ryan Sheckler in another movie who randomly showed up in it. Number 6, Hardflip. Okay, so I tried to add Hardflip footage here, but I couldn't because I keep getting copyright claims, so I'm just gonna have to put a picture instead. Not only do I hate the trick Hardflip, not because it doesn't look beautiful, but just because it's hard to do, but I can't explain how much I hated this movie. I think this is probably the worst one on this list. While it did have some notable skaters in it that I do like, pro skaters, I did not like it. While the movie centers around skateboarding, it's really focused on being a drama about forgiveness and kindness. I know that sounds like a great thing, however, the movie felt more like a youth group church project that got started after someone saw the movie Grind and thought it would be better with religious overtones. I don't know. I give this movie a 1 out of 10 for sucking the absolute fun out of skateboarding. Number 7 is Street Dreams. Oh God. I remember being really excited for this movie when it came out back in 2009, and it was produced by Rob Dyrdek and featured Paul Rodriguez, Sean Malto, and a bunch of other pro skaters, which I love all of those dudes. But I'm not really sure how to feel about this movie. There are definitely dope tricks done in it, especially the really awesome trick Pierrot lands at the end. Sorry, spoiler. But the movie is extremely formulaic and lacks the fun that movies like Grind had, if that makes sense. It really plays on the trope that skateboarding is all about getting sponsored, and that's the ultimate goal. And I realize it has like a lot of side stuff to the story that tried to make it a little bit of a drama and a little bit more interesting, but I don't know. I don't know how to rate this, honestly. It's not one of my favorites, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a, I don't know, oh God, this is so hard. People are gonna be mad at me. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10 and move on. Number 8, North Hollywood. Directed by Mikey Alfred, produced by Pharrell Williams, and put out by Illegal Civ, a skateboarding brand that you may remember. It also claims to be a studio that has had a rough few years, which honestly kind of hangs over this movie whether you want it to or not. But having said that, let's talk about the film itself. The story is a semi-autobiographical coming-of-age thing about a kid trying to go pro in skating while his dad pushes back. And although interactions between the dad and son feel authentic-ish and the performances overall are pretty good, a lot of these actors are playing high schoolers and nobody on screen looks like a high schooler, like at all. The music choices are also all over the place and kind of kill the vibe of the movie. It's like really weird music choice. And there are just these awkward interactions throughout that take you right out of the movie, which is otherwise pretty good, I guess. I don't know. Overall, I give North Hollywood a 6 out of 10. Number 9, mid-90s. Out of all of the videos on this list, this was probably the most authentic feeling. Mid-90s is a movie that came out in 2018 that was directed and written by none other than Jonah Hill. The movie is set in the 1990s, Los Angeles, and follows a 13-year-old who has a troubled home life and makes some new friends at a local skate shop. Now, I think I speak for a lot of skaters when I say this movie really encapsulated a lot of what it really felt like to grow up skating, whether it was in the 90s or the early 2000s before social media. I think even with social media, some kids today can probably relate to how it feels to walk into a skate shop and start making skate friends. If you go watch any movie in today's video, I highly recommend putting mid-90s at the top of your list. I would give this movie a 9 out of 10 for authenticity. I wanted to give it a 10 out of 10, but I'm not going to give any movie a 10 out of 10 because I feel like that's perfect and nothing's perfect, but this one is damn close. It's a great movie. Go see it. Number 10, Skater Girl. Skater Girl released in June 2021, so it's definitely one of the newer ones on this list as well. Similar to the Illegal Civ movie. The movie follows a teen girl in rural India that develops a passion for skateboarding in a place where skateboarding really isn't a thing, especially for girls. This movie had a great message and I think delivered on it. It's available now on Netflix. I give this movie a 6 out of 10. It was well made. Nothing I'd rewatch, but I definitely recommend it. It was good. Number 11, Skate Kitchen. This is another film that definitely puts a spotlight on all of the female skaters out there killing it. I think this movie does the best job of it, though. Skate Kitchen centers around a girl named Camille and her lonely existence as a teenager. This changes drastically, however, when she becomes friends with a group of girl skateboarders. It's kind of like mid-90s a little bit in that way, but I think the movie does a lot of good things besides showcasing awesome skating, and it was nice to watch a movie about skateboarding where the sole purpose isn't just to get sponsored, but rather display awesome skating within the skate culture. I think this movie did a really good job. I give this movie an 8 out of 10 because it was great. Go see it. Number 12, Wassup Rockers. Well, it happened again with Wassup Rockers. I got a copyright claim when I tried to upload this video, so I'm gonna have to use a picture here instead. I saw Wassup Rockers as soon as it hit DVD back in the early 2000s. The movie was made by the famous director Larry Clark, controversial, who also made the controversial film Kids. It centers around 3 young Latino skateboarders who model themselves after the Ramones music group, and they skate around LA. This is more like a day in the life. It just kind of like goes through their lives as they get into like mischief and stuff. At the time, I think this movie resonated with me the most just because of how raw it was filmed. I could really see myself in their shoes since I was about the same age as they were in the movie when it came out. I also had friends actually that dressed exactly like them and loved the Ramones, so that was pretty relatable as well. I can't really speak to how good the film actually is as an adult because I haven't seen it since I was a teen, but I remember at least feeling a bit weird while watching it. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this movie because I don't necessarily want to recommend it, but because it's probably not as great now, but it felt good back then. I don't know, man. I have mixed emotions about Larry Clark as well over this film, so look, I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 10 and move on. All right, number 13, the last movie on the list, and I would say most important, MVP 2, Most Vertical Primate. You know I had to talk about this. This movie centers around Jack, the world's most athletic ape, who, if you don't know, was in the first MVP movie, but this time he gets kicked off of his hockey team and meets a kid who skateboards, so, of course, he starts skateboarding. With a movie whose synopsis uses the term high-speed world of competitive vertical skateboarding, which I've never heard used, you know it's going to be dumb, but, you know, also fun. The only reason you watch that movie is so that you can see a primate skate, which the movie definitely delivered on, so I'm actually going to give this a 5 out of 10 just because it was so fun. Plus, that was a hella cute ape, and the movie was brought to you by the same studio as Air Bud, which, A, is arguably one of the best movies to ever be snubbed by the Oscars. Hope the Oscars is listening. You need to put MVP back on the list. And with that last movie on the list, let me know what you agreed with and what you didn't, because I know there's gonna be some angry skaters out there for some of the picks that I made. I'm Eric, this is Eric Skateboards, where I talk about skateboarding, or I go skate, or, you know, it's just all around skateboarding content. If you like this video or you like any of my other ones, please hit that subscribe button, like it, and hype it up. I think there's a hype button on there. I don't really know what it does, but I really like it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Live well, skate better. I'm gonna throw a video right up here of something that the YouTube algorithm thinks that you're gonna be super interested in, and goodbye.